Good. Young Money, syrup in the big shot. Time to do the thing, that's word to your wristwatch. Shoot the Glock till it burn to my wrist lock. Rims hella big, tire skinny like Chris Rock. Hold a gun sideways like old dog. Shoot a nigga in his face, knock his nose off. Make the girl say my name like a roll call. Painkillers got a nigga but a doze off. Big shit nigga, talk big shit nigga. Big bread like a picnic nigga. Shake the whole game like the hit stick nigga. Money spread like germs get sick nigga. Yeah, and fuck them other niggas. 1-900, who want it, I deliver. Concrete shoes won't help in the river. I don't care if you was Michael Phelps, my nigga. I'm higher than the motherfucking Elps, my nigga. I'm flyer than the motherfucking stealth, my nigga. Young Money shit, top shelf, my nigga. We the motherfuckers like MILF, my nigga. Flow like syringes. Yeah, I'm in my mode. Got a cold like Da Vinci's. I was in the trenches. Now I'm in the Trump. And everybody watch your back when you're in the front. You ain't never safe. Stop playing with a gangster. Bring it to his face and he ran like a flanker. Bend the girl over. Put her hands on her ankles. I'm all over this ice cream beat like sprinkles. Why thank you? If you's a hater, I'm eating. You's a waiter. Pistol on my hip. Tomb Raider. Holla at your guala, soon later. Young tune, nigga, typhoon, nigga. And if you think it's sweet, buy a room, nigga. Die move, nigga. I'm on my gang shit. She give me good brain like she studied at Cambridge. Lighten up a motherfucking blunt. Stupid fruity swag like a motherfucking runt. And I be with my dog like a motherfucker hunting. Every day of the week is the first of the month. Thought him up a gate with the diamonds in the face. Can't tell the time cause the diamonds in the face. We could get it poppin' like a semi-automatic. And if you got beef, I put the biscuit on a patty. Rockstar tatted, big money addict. Running this shit, now I'm feeling athletic. I'm on a boat, bitch, getting seasick. Stop playing, I'm fresher than a degree stick. Street shit. Well, of course, I smoke mad weed. I'm on my high horse. Please don't shoot me down. I land feet flat. Then walk a million miles with New Orleans on my back. Ha. I need a massage. And when it come to hoes, man, I got a collage. Finger on the button, nigga just stuntin'. If you ain't the bank teller, don't tell me nothing. Kush so strong, you can smell me coming. Bitch, I go hard like the boy from 300. You think y'all kick it? Well, boy, we puntin'. Young Money, baby, we the shit. Big stomachs, no ceilings. Motherfucker.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the NFL Championship Weekend broadcast of the show. We got a little sprinkled in a little in college here this morning because I woke up and chose violence this morning and got on Twitter, and I've been down the rabbit hole ever since. I've sent out numerous things this morning that I picked up. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. The arm is turning a nice shade of green and yellow. Can't wait for that to come through. Looking forward to it. Jeffrey, how we do it over there? How is the family? Are we getting healthy?
No.
That's not
Nobody's getting healthy. In fact, the baby is now sick. So
we did know the baby was sick earlier, though, in all defense.
We have gone, yeah, but not like the baby's like got a fever. It was up all night. Woke up from like 2 to 4. It's just been one of those weeks. It's okay though. Here we are, about to have 2 days off Saturday and Sunday. The 3-time is the man, and for Christmas this year, decided to. Orlando City plays a soccer team called Flamengo. Flamengo is you see me every once in a while.
Not flamingo, Flamengo.
Flamenco, yeah.
Flamenco.
Actually,
oh.
Yeah. Well, however you want to say it. They are like the Yankees basically of Brazilian soccer, based out of Rio de Janeiro. They are the club team of the entire family. Just so happens that they scheduled a friendly match between Orlando City for tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. and Mr. Swinson was kind enough for Christmas to buy me, my father-in-law, and the boys tickets to the game.
Oh,
So
that was nice of
we're looking forward to going to the game tomorrow. We're going to be sitting in the quarter section for the Brazilian soccer team, which will be a little bit different for Jeremy. He's never worn a different kit into that stadium other than Orlando City, so we're gonna break him of that and see what happens. I told him, I go, you don't have to. I just wouldn't recommend wearing your Orlando City kit in the middle of all those Brazilian fans. So should be good. Should be good. Looking forward to it. What do you got planned for this weekend? Anything?
No, nothing. I'm just actually wondering right now because I show the show is not like showing up on YouTube at the moment. It's just like I got pinwheels. I don't know if that's on my setting or if that's something.
I got it.
Everything looking good?
Pretty sure I got it.
Yeah, cause I got pinwheels. Like we're lagging.
No, we're good. We're on.
We're definitely not lagging.
We're good.
All right. Well, let's get into it. So yeah, I don't have anything planned for the weekend. I'm just gonna hang out with the family a little bit, relax, hang out, watch a little football. I got to send some things off to Golden Auctions today. If you're participating in Golden Auctions, make sure you check those things out. Got the Rams Super Bowl jersey headed out there. Cooper Kupp Super Bowl jersey going out there, and of course the Tom Brady limited edition helmet. So if you check those out, but as I did say, I woke up and chose violence this morning.
Yeah, why did you choose violence?
Well, I woke up today, and I want to bring this up because I just do not want to. I just don't want to do this, but we talked about. There's a thread on right now with one of the bigger Florida accounts on Twitter and allkindsofweather.com that has a lot of good information out there. A lot of few others. They're talking about they should charge to go to the orange and blue game and then put all of that money in a collective for the fans. Okay. So then, somebody else brought up a better deal, put the renovations on hold, tell the mega boosters to allocate their money toward Florida Victorious instead of luxury boxes that will shrink capacity by 15,000 seats. And then it kind of goes on there. And then another guy jumped in. A lot of boosters, including myself, will never give a dime to any collective. Not a financial genius, but by basically handing over money to a kid and his family and get nothing in return doesn't make sense at all from a business perspective. That's a great one. And then the pile-on started. Then I hope you enjoy recruiting classes in the teens in 6 and 6 seasons. I said, this is why college football is broken. This guy said there's no going back. I said, no, but at least they got that money that the universities were making off them. And then that's kind of when things went to a spiral. And I was told I have two choices. One, I can get with the program and I can give money to the university, or we can just have a shit football team moving forward. Now, I've been very, very vocal about the state of college football and what I felt. But he is not only replying to me, he's replying to that booster. And I've been no qualms, or I've been very vocal of the fact when my last year there, we had box seats or whatever the hell they're called, Champions Club, which is right below suite level, I guess. The tickets were a little over $7,000 for 2 tickets for 6 games at home. 6 games. Let's also keep in mind, that's more than NFL. That's more than I paid for my Hyundai Club tickets for more games in an NFL stadium. Now, $4,000 of said money, roughly, went to boosters. The booster portion of my donation that has to be paid in order for me to secure these seats. Apparently, that money does not go to players. That goes to the university. And the whole thing that really just sent me flying is the fact of, again, and I've said this a few times, the whole argument for college players getting paid was, look at them. Look at the universities. Look at this. Look at that. They are all making money off our name, image, and likeness, and rightfully so. You had a point there. You had a point to say the universities are making hundreds of millions of dollars. The athletics program is making hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's also, negate any of the college scholarships that goes out because as Jeff and many other, I don't know, maybe not you, I think I said, but that's just funny money. That's not part of any type of financial compensation. when it comes to this. This guy told me I have two choices. Either I pony up the dough or I accept being a shit football team. Now, you just told this guy over here who is in the same area, who's already donating $4,000 just to be able to secure said tickets, $7,000 total, that if he doesn't pay $15 to $20 a month a year, then don't expect to have a winning football team. And he's not wrong.
No.
Because that's the way it's got, and that's why I replied, and that's why I'm not a college football fan anymore. Straight up. I will never, I won't do it. I won't do it.
You are a college football fan, and I think you are passionate about this. I think it's unfortunate the way that this is played out. And I would say to those people, if you are a booster, right, stop being a booster. What is your money going toward? Your money is going toward the university that already has an allotment of X amount of dollars, being a state institution that already has money coming in from outrageous TV deals that are being given to them from the SEC and ESPN. What are you giving your money toward?
Exactly.
I told you, I donate toward a collective, and that's because the essence of being a booster is no longer viable in today's market. There's no point in having it.
Well, it really went downhill when they took out the tax advantage, because it used to be a tax write-off. Now it's not.
Absolutely.
Because the government said, well, you're getting something for this, so therefore it's not a donation.
And they're not wrong as well, too. Listen, I will say this. I think that we have jumped the shark, right? And obviously, I know the reason you're upset is because you said that when it started, it was about getting the kids paid because they were sick of, them basically being slaves and making the NCAA making all this money, billions and billions and billions of dollars off of their backs and them not being compensated. Now, we opened up a free market. And like I said to you a couple weeks ago, I think and one of the reasons that Florida State wants out of the ACC is because we will eventually get to a point where TV revenue will be shared among the athletes, the football athletes at least, because that's the only way to really take this and make sure that there has to be some kind of legality things with this. There has to be something where we have some kind of law out there. Right now, it's just the wild, wild west. We just kind of do whatever we want to. We kind of go through whatever. We pay money to whoever we want to. There has to be some kind of law that's written into it. Now, we argued a little bit on the pre-show about why do they feel the need to ask the fans for money. And here's the thing. When NIL started and these collectives started, it started as, listen, Sonny's Barbecue in Gainesville, Florida, where it originated. Shout out to Sonny's, one of the best barbecues out. I love Sonny's Barbecue. That garlic bread is on point. Fantastic. You love Sonny's as well, too, right?
I've had it a couple times.
No, not a big fan?
I mean, it's okay. Okay.
So this originally started with, listen, we want these players to come make appearances for us and maybe be in, we want, who's the DJ Lagway, right, to come in and to be a spokesperson for Sonny's Barbecue on a commercial spot here and there. Here's a check for $50,000, okay? Well, the problem with that is that because you have no regulations, now you have somebody out in Texas for the University of Texas who says, I'm going to do the same thing, but instead I'm going to cut a check for $1.5 mil. Okay, so now you're behind the eight ball, $1.45 million. Now, where does that money come from, right? So now you got to crowdsource it. I told you, I donate to a collective. I donate to the Battle's End. And I love what they do. I think Florida State's done a great job, not only of recruiting, but also getting kids through where they need to be. And, from what I understand, we haven't given a crazy bag to anybody. Now, you can say the Amarius Mims thing was crazy, $15K a month for the first year. I think it's crazy that we got reported and got, disciplined for it. It's my own personal opinion.
But I'm going to die on this sword. I'm going to die on this hill. The whole thing, like what you're talking about, paid appearances.
You're frustrated.
That is, no, I'm not, because I'm literally done. I'm literally done. My interest in college football has continued to dwindle. But again, I'll tell you, the backbreaker for me was paying little over $7,000 for tickets and then having somebody reach out to me because they can see my name on there. They can see how much and say, we need you to give more to compete. No, fuck you. So why? So a kid, no offense to the kid, so the kid in 2 years can have a bigger net worth than me. That's what I'm supposed to be giving to? Why? And you know, and I know that you give, and a lot of other people give, and if they're comfortable with that, that's perfectly fine. But you mean to tell me that there's not enough money from the millions and billions that you just talked about the NCAA is making, that the universities are making, paid promotions, all of this type of stuff is not enough? It's not enough. The fact that Marvin Harrison Jr. was reportedly offered $20 million to stay at Ohio State. Like, and if you're $20 a month, that's what you're really? I mean, give me a fucking break. And you know what? Outside of Texas, Florida, and Georgia, okay, where's Boston College? Where's Boston College going to compete at now? Where's Northwestern going to compete? Where
did they ever compete?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They never competed, though.
So we went from this fucking narrative, man, this fucking narrative of the big bad corporations, the big bad universities are making all of this money off of us. We want our cut. Finally, we said, boom, gloves are off. Go get your cut. Well, wait a minute. They're not going to give us any of their money. So, hey, guys. I realize that you pay for your TV package. I realize you buy Florida State hats, Florida State t-shirts, Florida State underwear. I do believe you have Florida State wet wipes that are all licensed. So guess what? The NCAA is getting all of that money as well. Keep buying your shit. Now you got to pay. Oh, fuck, man. Ooh, the microphone almost lost. I just hurt my arm. Now you got to pay for your ACC television package, your Big Ten television package, which isn't included. Now you got to pay for your SEC package that isn't included. But by the way, we still need another $20 to $30 a month. Otherwise, we can't compete. Go fuck yourselves. How about that? How about that? If the University of Florida isn't committed to winning a football team, and that means that they have to pay out their money, then I care more than them, and that is not right. If the universities to make way more money if their teams are competitive, way more money. A University of Florida team that finishes dead last in the SEC versus a University of Florida team that finishes number one is a big money gap. If the University of Florida doesn't care to close that gap on their own, besides coming to donors, boosters who also, like this guy just said, boosters, some of these big boosters, the guys like the big boosters need to donate more. This guy goes, the big boosters build the fucking buildings. That's why the buildings have names on them, because somebody donated $20 million to get a building made because of the poor University of Florida that spends $50,000 fucking dollars a year on tuition can't afford to build their own goddamn building. But yet, the fans need to give up $20 a month so that we can spend $2 million a month on football players. $2 million a month for the University of Florida is a fucking drop in the bucket. Go fuck yourselves, man. It could be more than that, but you know what? It's egregious. It's everything that the fight was about was to take it away from the enterprise. The NCAA was mentioned how many times? The NCAA, they have this monopoly. They control it. They're making all of this money. The NCAA didn't lose a fucking dime. The NCAA laughed and said, okay, you want to get paid? Now we're going to create new TV stations to generate more money that the fans are going to have to pay for. And by the way, the fans, you also got to give to your collective. Otherwise, you're going to suck ass. I mean, you just think you think that you're winning against these guys, and you're fucking losing. You're fucking losing every time.
Like I said, I think eventually we will get to the TV revenue share, and that's one of the main reasons why Florida State, I think they see the writing on the wall, and they're trying to get out of the ACC as quickly as possible as they can, because they don't want to be behind the eight ball when that eventually comes down the pipeline.
So right? Let's just say that the TV revenue across the SEC is $500 million. Let's just say that, just a random. How does that get split up between the teams? Equally?
So no. I think what it'll be is that you're going to have your cut per university, right? So
okay. How is that determined? Who gets the most? Who gets the less?
Not for me to worry about.
Well, you're going to need to worry about it, because if Florida State goes to another conference that the deal is $100 million, how much does Florida State get? Because that'll be the next thing.
what you're saying is when we go to the Big Ten, I think it'll end up being like 10% of what the university is set to make will be allotted for your NIL or whatever you want to call it.
Okay,
at
so
that
so
point.
after the players get 10% of the revenue rights, which that I'm fine with.
let's say-
Hold on, let me finish.
let's say-
let me finish. So let's
I
just
just
say
wanted
they
to break
get
it down for you real quick.
they get 10% out of that, right? Do the collectives go away? Do they turn to us and say, "Hey, we now have a pool of money that we can pay our players. We don't need your money anymore"?
The collectives will go away if they're litigated out of being able to pay people. Absolutely.
So who would pay the people then?
the
The
co-
universities directly?
Well, I think you could get there, yeah. Where let's say Florida's cut for being in the SEC and TV money generated is $35 million. Okay,
A year.
just a year, right? Let's just say that that's what it is. Then they make litigation that says 3.5 million of that needs to go to your football players.
Never gonna happen.
I know you don't think it'll happen.
I just don't think so because
I think
if
closer
that
than
if
it's
that would have
not.
been the route, why would that not have been implemented at the time the NL was created?
Because it was a Supreme Court decision that just literally happened, and then everybody reacted in real. It wasn't something where there was no forethought saying that this was going to happen, and this is what we need to do to make sure that this goes correctly. It just became the Wild Wild West. It became the open transfer portal, right? You can transfer wherever you want to. You can pay players whatever you want to, and it completely has unraveled on them. You're correct to be upset. You are correct to be upset as a fan who has spent way more money than I've ever spent on Florida State football for the University of Florida. You have every right. You have every right in your bones to be upset about that. I'm just telling you the way that it will be going forward from now on.
Hey, as I said, I thought that paying the players was going to be a deep rabbit hole, one that was going to be very, very hard to recover from, and it definitely is. It's like you said, it's the Wild Wild West out there. I just think if the players were going to get a cut of university money, which that's what it should have been to start, then I would have been fine. I would have been fine that a kid that plays 6 home games a year is making $250,000 a month. I could care fucking less. But to look at me, who already paid X, Y, and Z, or to look at, let's be honest, I'm very, very blessed to be able to have some of this stuff. But there's a lot of people that just live for football, man. They go work 40 hours for a paycheck. Their money is spoken for, regardless of what you want to say about their lifestyle. But to sit there and say, on Saturdays or Sundays that, some of the enjoyment that Americans get is only of watching their football team. And to say, well, because you don't have an extra $20 to spare to help pay kids and make them millionaires in college because the universities are not going to give up a cent of their cut to pay these players, it is probably one of the most disheartening things that I could hear. And that's why I'm fuck you. I will never be a Florida. I will never be a Florida booster. I will never be a Florida season ticket holder.
And I would encourage anybody who's a booster to stop being a booster.
I mean, it makes no sense. Going back to the point where I said, like, the mega boosters, like, if they need a new building, you're telling me that the University of Florida, top 5 nation, can't afford to buy their own building when kids are going hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to attend one kid. One kid is 75 G's for 4 years, and that's probably on the low side.
75 G's.
You know what I'm saying. That's probably well
Way
on
more than that.
That's what I'm saying. And but you're telling me that we need to reach out. We need to reach out to boosters to build buildings, to do this, to do. I'm gonna need to
start a collective.
I'm gonna need to see the P&L.
The building.
I'm gonna need to see the P&L here, guys. I'm gonna need to see the EBITDA. I'm gonna need to see the net profit. I gotta see these overhead costs.
I think you'd be shocked how much some of these administrators and faculty get paid. It would probably be troubling to you in terms of the amount of money that's allocated there. But listen, it's what it is. There's an instance that I saw too, Miami. Right? I saw Ja'Carri Brown, who was slated to probably be the starter this year, Miami. But he was talking about TJ says besides mega boosters that are worth $100 million, regular is 100%. There's no, and if you are a regular booster right now, if you're donating anything more than like $50 a month as a booster, stop doing it. Just give it to a collective. But TJ, you'll find this interesting. They were talking about Ja'Cory Brown, supposed to be the quarterback for Miami this year. Miami ends up getting Cam Ward, and Cam Ward from Washington State was the #1 quarterback in the transfer portal this year. And he comes out and, look, I'm in the transfer portal, blah, blah, blah. Miami comes out, throws a bag at him. They try to get Jeremiah Smith, who was the 5-star #1 recruit in the entire nation, to pair with him as well, too. It ends up not happening. Cam Ward tells Jeremiah Smith, listen, I'll go to Miami. If you go there. Jeremiah Smith ends up coming into Ohio State, says, I want to play with Brian Hartline. I think he's one of the best wide receiver coaches in the nation. Good for you. Now, at the same time, Cam Ward says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and turn. So Cam Ward declares for the NFL draft. Ja'Cory Brown is talking about this as somebody who's in the quarterback room, who's just sitting there like, where's the loyalty? He commits to going to the draft, gets his draft grade back, doesn't like the draft grade, but leverages him going to the draft to squeeze more money out of Miami. And Ja'Cory Brown is like, if you were to offer me that, I am not going pro either. If you were to offer me the number that Cam Ward is getting, there's no way I'm going pro. Especially as a guy who's going to be a tweener, right? You're going to be a 4th or 5th round pick. Who knows where you're going to be? Absolutely. Go to Miami for a year. He goes, but it also makes me question because there's no loyalty to that.
We talked about that. We talked about the loyalty on college football is gone. I mean, if there ever was loyalty, which there was to a point, but I mean, we all know that players have been paid since long before Reggie Bush days, Alabama days. I'm sure there's Gators in there that have gotten paid as well. We all knew it happened. When I
was going to Florida State, every single one of the players had a nice car with rims, with a sound system. They stayed in off-campus housing, pretty much. I mean, come on, let's not be dumb about it.
Correct. Now, but it was also a lower amount that the mega boosters could just cover that on their own.
Right.
But now when we're talking about paying Marvin Harrison Jr. $20 million.
It wasn't Caleb Williams walking in and him being like, oh, I want this penthouse here, in downtown LA. And the guy's like, what do you do for a living? He goes, college. And he goes, you can't afford this. Yeah. And he goes, oh, you want cash or check? You know what I mean? Like, I just can't. Come on, bro. Like, it is what it is. Now, I digress. We'll get off of college.
Yeah, let's get off college football. My hemorrhoids are flaring up.
I understand your frustration. You have every right in the world, Tyson, to feel the way that you feel. But I'm telling you right now, the people who are talking to you on Twitter are 100% correct about the way, in terms of the way it's structured right now,
of course,
the way it's going to be going forward. It just is what it is.
But you know what? The reason why I've replied to this certain person, because they were one of the ones really campaigning for it. The universities are making all of this money off the players. They deserve to be paid. Okay, great. Then get the universities' money. Don't go out to
all kinds of weather.
In all kinds of weather, yeah. .com.
In all kinds of weather, yeah. I follow on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of you got to follow the ops as well too. So
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, whatever. Yeah, let's move on. I'm just whatever. I'm off college football. Let's get into a little bit of NFL coaching news here, because as we know, the NFL stays relevant no matter what. There's only 2 games this week, and yet we're talking about NFL all of the weeks. I appreciate everyone stopping by here. Make sure, if you can do us all a favor, hit that little thumbs up button down there on the bottom there. We'd love to get that number up. Helps the algorithm, helps your boys grow. Let's get into it.
DJ says that your hemorrhoids are flaring up because you're wiping with your left hand.
I use wet wipes. There's no need for that. No need.
Ambidextrous.
I am.
No, but he's saying because your right arm's,
I understand.
Incapable.
Atlanta Falcons. Throwing the world in a curveball here, hiring Raheem Morris from the LA Rams defensive coordinator. We had all had Bill Belichick pegged here because we said Arthur Blank would be the only one stupid enough to give Bill Belichick the entire reins. I apologize, Arthur. You have not been that stupid. So Raheem Morris is there. I did see that, this is my pre-Buck days, but I did see he was a head coach for the Bucks. Didn't have necessarily the better record, but I do believe that you said on the pre-show that you felt that he did a pretty good job with the roster that was constructed around him. What a curveball here! What a curveball here! And we're going to get into what the implications of that Bill Belichick could be later. But we got a defensive coach now again in Atlanta, with a team that, in my opinion, has the offensive weapons to be one of the deadliest teams, most certainly the deadliest team in the NFC South. But when you have Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier coming off a monster season, Drake London's no snub, Kyle Pitts, you already had a pretty good defense here. I would think that the Atlanta Falcons would have went with somebody a little bit more offensive minded here to get that offense rolling. The defense isn't your problem, but you hired a defensive coordinator here. Obviously, when he goes to piece together his coaching staff, we'll see what kind of coaches he brings over. But I was really surprised by this. Not necessarily by the Belichick move, but just if they didn't go Belichick, who's also defensive minded, I think that they would have wanted somebody with an offensive mind, but nope, they stuck to defense, and we'll see what happens here with this Atlanta offense under Raheem Morris and the staff.
Yeah, Justice, you're right. Always keep an eye on your ops, bro. Always got to follow the ops, like 21 Savage tells us. Listen, Raheem Morris, when he coached for the Bucs, he had right, but you're also talking 2009 to 2011, so you're talking this is 13 years ago, I think coaches grow, and I think what he's done in LA speaks for itself. I think the relationships that he has with the players, I could see this being almost like a Vrabel type of situation where the guy is just going to go out there and coach his ass off. I think he's also going to attract a lot of talent as well to the team that's going to want to come play for Raheem Morris. I think he's also going to attract great assistants as well. I already saw that.
Real quick. Why?
Why what?
Why is he going to attract all this talent?
I just think he's been around the block in the NFL. I think the amount of relationships that he's developed, even since we could talk about him being a head coach. Before that, he was a DB coach, and he's worked under the likes of, some of the best in the business, whether it be Tomlin or Dungy or, some of these guys. He's built relationships through all this. And so I think this is a great hire. I think and it sucks. I hate it as a Bucs fan because I think they're going to be very relevant going forward. I could see them with the right quarterback in the right situation. That is their division to have. I know he's already looking at bringing over the passing game coordinator from the LA Rams, who's already said, listen, he's been the passing game coordinator, not the OC, obviously, but he's going to have a chance to come over and call plays, get out of under McVay's wing, but through that same tutelage as well. I think it's going to be a really good situation for Raheem, and I'm happy for him. I really am. Like I said, it sucks as a Bucs fan, because this is a great hire. And we could talk about Arthur Blank. This is a battle of Arthur Blank and Rich McKay. Rich McKay, who was in Tampa before, and I believe hired Raheem Morris before as head coach back in the day when he was here with Tampa, ends up going back to Atlanta. Arthur Blank, I can tell you right now, probably wanted Bill Belichick. He is an older guy, come in, run the thing, but Rich McKay won this battle at the end of the day, and they get Raheem Morris in there. Falcons fans are pissed off, but I don't know why. You guys are idiots. So
I don't know either. And, when you look at the longevity and the regime of things, obviously Bill Belichick, he wants 2 more years, right? He wants 2 more years. He wants to get to that head coaching record. So I don't fault them for that, because why would you want, not necessarily a lame duck coach, but definitely an old head that, as we've talked about, has not done very well with the personnel in New England at all, and has done absolute garbage since Tom Brady has left. And I don't know the interns of what was happening, as far as the conversations, but absolutely, I mean, you want Bill Belichick because of the name, right? It brings your instant credibility to your franchise. But if you're looking at the long-term game, though, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and like, cool, you get Bill Belichick. You're gonna have 6 primetime games next year, right? Like you're automatically gonna be thrust in that position. Your schedule is probably gonna be, the schedule's already decided, but it's gonna be, travel. There's gonna be a lot going on. This is, I think, it's a hire for the future. I think it's fantastic, and I think Bill is just one of those old heads that's gonna be on the outside looking in. Unfortunately for him. Well, maybe not unfortunately for him. I don't know. I think the game has passed him by a little bit. He could probably still be a great DC, but what Bill Belichick wants in terms of having complete...
who needs a defensive coordinator?
Bring it in. Belichick as the DC. Could you imagine that? Bears fans would lose their living shit, dude.
I would love it.
You guys would be, oh my God.
I would love it.
It'd be incredible.
Well, let's move on. The Carolina Panthers had a little bit of a surprise hire for me at first until I did a little digging. The Dave Canales, the offensive coordinator from Tampa Bay, goes into the division as well. Carolina Panthers snagging him up. Obviously, when I did a little bit of digging, the GM that was brought over from Seattle obviously has close ties with Dave Canales. So, I mean, congratulations, I guess.
Yeah.
I look at it this way. Now you have Raheem Morris, right? I almost said Mostert. Raheem Morris.
I know you did.
Caught
You were
myself.
very close, but I'm so proud of you.
And Dave Canales, both that has been with Tampa Bay before and Tampa Bay now. And now you have two of them going against you for 4 games a year.
At least.
Todd Bowles is in trouble. Todd Bowles is in trouble.
We are in shambles. Tear it down, break it down, bring back the old heads and the vets in Tampa, and let's just lose. Like, I don't even care. I just want to lose and be happy and have my, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about anything else.
I mean, the Tampa Bay. I think it was John Pinkington, Pelagic and Pewter, whatever the fuck that is. Whatever that is. On Twitter, give him a follow. He was posting about this, and the comments underneath it is just wild to me. Well, if we lose Canales, then Todd Bowles must go.
Right.
That was the instant logic from Bucks fans.
Right.
Is that, oh shit, we lost our offensive coordinator. That means that the head coach needs to go as well, because no way Baker Mayfield wants to come back and play for Todd Bowles. First of all, you don't know shit. Okay. Second of all, you made that bed when you were rooting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to keep going in the playoffs. I said, congratulations, you had a great season. You got Todd Bowles again. Woo!
Yeah, whatever.
And then you got to look at what kind of staff is going to come in, because let's be honest, regardless of what you want to think about Todd Bowles, if he has a couple bad years, he's gone. I mean, the seat was hot, cooled off, and it's cooled off now, but another bad season next year, it's probably on. So now you got to look at who's going to come in under Todd Bowles, which I'm not saying is a lame duck coach, but it's definitely not somebody that you're like, okay, Tampa Bay, this is your coach for forever. I don't think any Tampa Bay fan, and you being, I guess, the biggest Tampa Bay fan, could you see Todd Bowles being your forever coach for the next 10 to 15 years?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
I think,
hold on. To my point, so now when we're looking to bring in a whole new coaching staff, because let's be honest, Dave Canales is probably going to poach some of the people that he brought with him that he built underneath his offensive coordinator system, and the new offensive coordinator is going to want to bring in their own stuff. So you're pretty much looking at an entire revamp of the offense here. With Mike Evans in question, Baker Mayfield in question, Kyle Trask is in question. Obviously, most of the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans are completely ready to move on from Kyle Trask, which is fine. I don't really care. But you have to look at who's going to come in. All right, we looked at this is Kyle Trask's first year as a backup. He's had 3 different coaches. I mean, Bucs are in shambles, bro. Bucs are in shambles. The Bucs are in a worse position than the Bears right now. I will go on record.
We have an interesting offseason. I mean, I'd still take relevancy than the hope of relevancy. So there is that. It was nice to play in a divisional game. Listen, from what I understand, I also just saw the blurb that we saw as well, too, with Kellen Moore interviewing as the OC of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. I think that'd be a great fit. I think he's a veteran guy who can call plays. Obviously, he just spent some time in L.A. With the Chargers, but Harbaugh taking over there now leaves Kellen Moore without a job, and obviously we know he was I thought was going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys one day. Like I said, if I was Kellen Moore, though, I would have parlayed this into a coaching college gig. I don't understand.
But 1 second here. So Kellen Moore was the OC of the Chargers?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of season did the Chargers have?
They were great. They were decimated by injury as well, too. I'm not really worried about it.
I don't remember. I just don't remember them seeing. I know we talked a lot about how the head coach not utilizing Justin Herbert and having Justin Herbert as this amazing talent and failing. However, I would put that more on the offensive coordinator versus the head coach. Would you not? Especially since the head coach is calling the defense.
Maybe. I still like Kellen Moore. I don't really care. I understand what you're trying to fall into it. Your little web of traps and whatever. Trying to
no webs of traps, because as I get into the Bears and what I'm talking about, who they're interviewing, I don't know. When we shit on the Chargers for the entire year, we literally shit on them the entire year. I'm just saying.
We were talking. Well, I also think that you could say whatever you want, but I think this is the right. Dave Canales leaving as well, which was the original point that we were getting to before we got into the Kellen Moore tangent. But Dave Canales leaving, I think actually bodes better for them allowing Baker to walk. The reason being is that you're gonna have to learn a new system anyway. It's not the same thing, so on and so forth. Yada yada yada. He's gonna command too much money. There's a whole diatribe that I could get into, but we have a lot of off season to talk about, and we can get there. As far as Dave Canales, I'm very happy for him. Spent a long time in the Seattle organization, learn the way that things were ran there. Why do I want to say Dan Morgan? Who just got hired? Anyway, Morgan, who I think it's Dan Morgan, but it makes me want to. Every time I say that, it makes me think about Morgan and Morgan for the people. Who was the middle linebacker for the Miami Hurricanes for years, was an all pro, ended up going to Carolina, now comes back home from the Seattle organization to be the GM of the Carolina Panthers. And very happy for him, but he knows Dave Canales really well. There was already that relationship. A lot of times we talk about life is based off of relationships that you've had and that you've made already. So I think this is going to be a great for them. He signs a 6-year deal to coach the Carolina Panthers, which I think is crazy. If you're looking at being under Dave Tepper, who bought the team in 2018 and has been through 8 coaches, through firings and interims already in the 5 or 6 years. We'll see how that works out. I think this is a kind of a reach for Canales. I think that the Carolina job was the poorest job to take, but I think for them, looking at the way that Canales has developed quarterbacks, and even quarterbacks that maybe not be as big in stature, right? When we talk about, we went from Russell Wilson to a Geno Smith relevancy again, to now what can you do with Bryce Young? I think it's a good hire for the Panthers as well. They got to keep that defense together. That defense was top 5 in the NFL this year. If you can just get the Panthers offense clicking, then you'll have a shot there. Good. Congratulations to Dave Canales. Very happy for you. Sucks. I wish you stayed with Tampa and we could have ran it back next year, but I understand the business.
Absolutely. And, shout out to him, and also Adam Schefter for letting me know that Dave Canales is now is Hispanic and is now the only Hispanic coach in the NFL following Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera got fired?
Yeah. Well, I guess.
I don't know why. I thought Canales was Italian for some reason.
I don't know. I just thought he was a guy with a tan. I mean, he learns something new every day.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to the Hispanic community.
I don't know if it's celebrated right now.
Everything's possible. Well, I mean, I think that's why we celebrate this type of stuff. That's why we put it out there. At least that's from my understanding, is that even though we're in a minority, we can still do these things. So congratulations and shout out. As you did say,
we don't have to mention it.